The fat women are told, like, oh, if you lose some weight, you will be fine. Everyone from doctors to your parents to your relatives, everyone is saying this to you.
At 36, she's unmarried.
I was speaking to this one guy in an arranged marriage setup. He said, the sports bra picture is only for your husband. So in my mind, I said, why would a sports bra even come between me and my husband?
Unstoppable and can casually deadlift 130 kilograms before breakfast.
He says, you're looking more manly. I'll say, one of us has to.
She's even strong enough to break toxic patterns. I need that drug. I need my hit of dopamine.
Yeah.
And then you realize that you're not in a relationship. You're a drug addict.
I need to overcompensate for my looks by bringing something else to the table.
She's built a career that she loves, a body that we're in awe of.
I honestly feel more feminine after lifting weights.
And lives her life entirely on her own terms.
People say you're too picky only when they know that the options are not that great.
Open to her Bollywood rom-com moment, but still perfectly complete in case it never comes.
You know?
You log on to Reddit and realize
everyone's had the same experience. Oh wow, 7 years ago, Christy from Milwaukee posted this. 7 years later, Gayathri in India is actually benefiting from it.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Love Handle, where we get unfiltered about love and relationships. Today I am so excited that Gayathri could join us. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course, our pleasure. Have you had any interesting revelations or realizations in this period of sort of intentional singlehood?
You know, as a person who got into fitness, you know, I used to be a fat girl earlier, and now that I'm into fitness, I thought things would change. As a recovering people pleaser, I realized I could change everything about myself, but I really can't change the base things. So this 1 year has given me the space to understand who I am and also make space in my life for somebody who will appreciate everything that I bring to the table.
Sure.
You know, rather than modifying me according to their tastes.
Is there a particular type of person that you attract or gravitate towards?
Yeah, people who need help. You know, I feel like I think they just see that I'm a giving person. And that's why this year was important for me. It was a year of reflection, and I realized, you know, it's time that I stop giving so much. And it's okay for me at some point to sit back and say, you know, I'm ready to receive.
I'm like a similar person to you, where like I love helping my partners, like for lack of a better word, or fixing or changing. Like I love a project.
Exactly.
You know?
Oh my God, yes.
Come to me, you're damaged. I can help you.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Right?
Of course, they were gravitating towards it.
When my use in their life was over, they were done with me. They were like, okay, thank you. Like, now done and dusted, right? And I realized that I needed to feel useful in order to feel needed and wanted, and to instead redirect some of that love and energy towards myself.
Exactly. And it took me so long to understand that. I mean, I'm 36 now, and I started dating when I was 27, you know, so I was very late to the dating game. At that point, I just felt, oh, I just don't think anybody would be interested in dating me. So I need to, you know, overcompensate for my looks by bringing something else to the table. So that could be, you know, me ignoring all my needs just to put the other person's needs on top. And, you know, that was a pattern that I have carried for the past few years. And it's only now, well into my, you know, mid-30s, that I've realized, oh, you don't need to actually do anything for someone to love you. They'll just love you for who you are, not for what you can do for them.
What has been the biggest difference of dating in your 20s versus in your 30s?
I would say I still am a diehard romantic, but in my 20s, since I was a little low on the confidence, like you said, I wouldn't even care if I liked the guy. If somebody approached me, I would say, oh, okay,
this is a big deal.
Yeah, this is a big deal for me. You know, I never had the confidence to date. Someone's approaching me. You know, even if they wanted to date in secret, they would be very happy to be with the woman in private, but not in public. And I went through that as well in my 20s. And I was okay with it because I thought this is the best that I'm going to get. And you know, I came into my 30s, and that's basically when I transformed, and, you know, I got into fitness and I changed my body and everything. So even though I looked different, I still felt, oh, I still need to people please. I was still stuck to a bit of that pattern. In my 30s, definitely I was, you know, my standards were higher. Somebody wanted to date in secret, it wouldn't be okay anymore. You know, I would say like, hold my hand in public. If you want to hold it in private, you have to do both. I'm hoping, you know, now that I've crossed 35, I'm going to be even more sure of who I am.
Absolutely.
So that's the hope.
Let's
see.
Exciting.
Yeah,
I have to say, as someone who's still navigating the 20s, I'm not going to take any liability for any of the mistakes I've made.
Oh, no way. You know, 20s are for making mistakes. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I don't know that girl from 1 year ago. I don't know what she was doing. I can't take responsibility for that. But I think it's really just about learning from the mistakes. Like, that's very key. Is like,
and you know, the funny thing about the universe is, if you don't learn from the mistake, it'll keep giving you the same lesson over and over again. Yeah. You know, I have dated the same mistake in different forms.
You know what they say, like, nothing changes if nothing changes.
Exactly.
So you got to change something if you want a different outcome.
Yeah.
What kind of pressure have you gotten, and how have you dealt with the narrative that, like, oh, you know, you need to settle down now, or like all the good men are going to run out? How have you dealt with that?
I feel like women are given a timeline. The moment that they're born, it's put in their mind that, oh, you're going to get married by 25 and you're going to have the first baby by 28. And of course, you need to complete your family. So you have another baby by 32. And then you have this perfect world. And I have honestly never believed in that. You know, I just never felt that there was a deadline to do anything that you wanted in life. I used to be a computer engineer. I left a very high-paying job when I was 24. And I took a 50% pay cut, and I actually went into a startup. You know, just because I said, I don't know if I'll get the opportunity to make this mistake, which everybody said this is a mistake, you know, and I'm glad I did it. And, you know, my parents, we are from a very conservative background. I grew up in Dubai. My parents left India in the 80s. So I feel like their mind is still stuck in what India was in the 80s. I was already told when I was 24, you know, my parents said, oh, we are going to put your matrimony profile and everything. And nothing really happened, you know. And at that point, I always felt, oh, it's my body. That's the problem. You know, you're fed that. The fat women are told, like, oh, if you lose some weight, you will be fine. Everyone from doctors to your parents to your relatives to, you know, romantic interests, everyone is saying this to you. And once I lost the weight and, you know, I started speaking up, it was still a problem because I was then too independent. You know, I looked good, but I was too independent and I was not ready to bend, you know, according to what society said. You know, for example, I remember I was speaking to this one guy in an arranged marriage setup, and he said, listen, I saw your profile on Instagram. Great work, you know, very inspiring. But you'll have to censor what you post after marriage.
Really?
So, yeah. And I said, okay, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
So he said, you know, you're posting pictures in sports bras and you're talking openly about dating and romance, and these things can't happen when you're married. He said, you know, if you're married, the sports bra picture is only for your husband. So in my mind, I said, why would a sports bra even come between me and my husband? Why would I even need that to come between me and my husband? Then he went on to say, also, I believe only in this one God. So you need to only pray to one God after you get married. And I didn't even know how to tell him, I'm agnostic. I didn't even know how to tell him. And he had seen me when I was overweight. Okay. And, you know, he went and told my dad that, listen, your daughter is too fat. So it can't happen. And I just thought, what a coward that he can't tell me. You know, he had to tell my dad, and it hurt my father's sentiments, you know, obviously hearing that about his daughter. And 3 years later, when I'd lost the weight, the same guy saw my profile on the arranged marriage platform, and he said, you know what, I'm ready to marry you now. So then, you know, I said, okay, let's talk. So I asked him, you know, have you grown hair in the past 3 years? And he said, no. I said, have you grown taller? The guy actually lied about his height. I don't have a problem with a short king.
We love a short king.
Yeah, but he lied about his height. I just feel like honesty and transparency, it's important. And if I'm bringing it to the table, the other person should bring it as well.
That guy has made it so clear that your appearance was the only thing that he was interested in, right?
Yeah.
Because now I'm ready to date you.
Exactly. I actually asked him then, I said, you know, if I ever got pregnant and I'd put on the weight and
sure.
I wouldn't have been able to lose it, what would you have done then? And he said, no, I would have adjusted. I didn't even understand it. It's a symbol of, two partners coming together to have a child, and you're saying I would have adjusted to what you have gone through.
The miracle of life.
Yeah, to the miracle of life. Yeah, exactly.
Like, theek hai, main seh lunga.
And honestly, I felt glad, that God actually redirected me, even though I'm agnostic. It saved me a lot of time. It saved me heartbreak. God knows what would have happened after, I would have actually gotten married. So I'm glad it gave me the space and time to explore my own life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad about that.
Totally. I'm glad too. So you mentioned your family and your parents, right?
Yeah.
And that they kind of come from a more traditional Tamil background.
Yeah.
What has, their reaction been to your singlehood journey and like, I'm going to be picky and I'm going to keep my standards high? What kind of advice do they give you?
They always expected that my life path would follow exactly what they planned. My dad even chose my degree for me and I didn't know better. So I just said, okay. And then 3 years in, that's when I switched to marketing. So even with, marriage, my dad would always say, why don't you just trust my choice, And I always say no, because I'll be the one who's living with the choice. So I wrote an email to them, a long email, convincing them that I need to move. I need to rediscover who I am without y'all. And I need to live my life. And yeah, my dad, he said that, look, we won't financially support you. I said, that's completely okay. I'll manage. So for about 2 years, I actually borrowed money from friends because I was not doing that well financially. But I said, okay, I'm not going to ask my dad. I'll ask my friends. And I actually paid them back over 2-3 years. So I love my friends for that. I would say now, though, years later, I've done the work and I've reintroduced myself to my parents. And, now they kind of understand. Like, for example, even me having a public Instagram profile was an issue earlier. My parents said, people are seeing you online, they know about your life. You're talking about the fact that you're single. It's not right. Now my dad, he openly tells any arranged marriage interest who comes in, my daughter has an inspirational Instagram profile. She will continue posting on it. She's not going to stop.
Yeah.
And if I had to talk about my mom, she's a woman. So at the end of the day, somewhere I feel she, wanted this life that I'm living as well. So sometimes when we are talking without my dad in the picture, I can understand that she's seeing me as the independent woman with choices that she never got the chance to be, and I feel that somewhere she supports me. She's always supported me from the beginning. Maybe she wasn't vocal about it because, as you said, right, society does judge women who are unmarried after a certain age, and most of the scrutiny lies on the mother, because the mother is supposed to tell the daughter that marriage is such a beautiful thing, get married, it's amazing, look at what a happy life I have with your father. While yes, being married would be great, I don't think a lot of women get to live this life that I'm living right now. And I think that's the luckiest thing, I don't take it lightly. I don't take that privilege lightly.
Yeah. Maybe our moms or our grandmoms, in a way, are able to live vicariously through our experiences. Like the amount you've explored, the amount you've traveled by yourself, right? Like,
for sure.
There is that. And just on the point of having a public facing Instagram, if I really come down to think about it, I've gotten this feedback too that like, itna sara kuch mat bolo, itna open mat raho camera pe on the internet, like, which to some extent I agree, like your digital footprint is
exactly, it does matter,
existing forever.
Yeah.
But I ask myself, like, would my husband care? Would that deter who is going to be my future husband? And if someone's deterred, they're probably not the right person.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So it's actually a helpful, like,
filter. For me, honestly, my Instagram, it's been a filter. It's kept certain people out of my life, the ones who don't deserve a space there anyway.
Exactly.
And it's brought in so many positive things for me. If someone cannot appreciate that just because I post a certain way, that person's not for me.
What are some instant red flags that would turn you off completely?
I would say maybe someone who tries to change me. It started with small things like, oh, why are you going out at this time? You should be safe. So I said, oh, okay. He's concerned about my safety. That's so sweet. So I stopped going out after a certain time. Then it became, oh, you look great in Indian wear. And my voice itself is a little intimidating sometimes. So if I would laugh too, like if my laugh was too out there, he'd be like, you should laugh a little softly. That's when I started realizing, oh my God, is he asking me to change the way I laugh? I can't even, have a normal reaction anymore.
Of joy.
Yeah, I can't even have a normal expression of joy anymore. I have to calibrate that as well. I have to laugh like, I don't know what he expected me to laugh like. Yeah, like a lady. So, that's when I realized that, oh, this attention that I was flattered by earlier, it's now becoming suffocating. Yeah. Having to change yourself so much for another person makes no sense.
It's an important distinction between someone who wants you to grow as a person and who pushes you to change for the better.
Exactly.
And someone who is now trying to make you smaller.
Exactly. I was shrinking myself a lot to fit into that dynamic. But then I realized I wasn't even there in the dynamic anywhere. It was just the other person.
Yeah.
I was nowhere. Yeah, you completely lose yourself. And at the end of it, when I got out, I actually asked, who am I? I didn't even recognize the person that I was at the end of it.
I think after like those harmful relationships, the journey of reconstructing your identity, like especially after heartbreak, is such a brutal yet incredibly important journey to be on, especially as a young person. Like you mentioned how you were just so flattered at that time. And I feel like it's so addictive. It's truly a drug when somebody is showering you, like love bombing,
basically, right? Yeah.
It is a manipulation tactic, and it is a form of control, because when you don't behave according to their desires, then that attention is withheld, and then you're like, oh shit, I need that drug, I need my hit of dopamine, and then you realize that you're not in a relationship, you're a drug addict.
Yeah, exactly.
A neurochemical drug addict.
It's a cycle, It took me so long to break out of it that once I did, and like you said, I was still craving the drug. I still wanted it, even though I knew it was terrible for me. It went to a point where my friend said, dude, we don't recognize you anymore. I don't know, we don't know who you are. And I said, oh man, okay, now this is a wake-up call. So that's one thing that I've learned. You should introduce the people that you're dating to your friends.
Oh, really?
Because you're so blind.
Yeah.
I feel like you're so blind at least I become blind when it comes to love. So I need to...
that feeling where like you feel nervous about your friends meeting him, or you selectively choose not to mention certain things that he does and says. That's where I'm like, why do I feel like I can't tell my best friends about this?
Oh my God, yeah.
It's a good sign to yourself that something's off.
I remember many times, after a relationship was done, I would then open up to my friends and be like, he did this as well. And they would be like, what? What is wrong with you? Why didn't you tell us earlier? And I'm like, duh, because I was embarrassed.
Right.
The person that you're dating could also just kind of be like, oh, they don't have the best interest for you. I'm the one who cares about you. And they just flatter you so much that you just believe that, oh yeah, maybe.
They'll turn you against.
Yeah, they'll just turn, they basically isolate you. They isolate you and they basically put you in the center. And I'm glad it happened, because I remember... once I did get out of it and I was feeling isolated and in the center or whatever, I realized I wasn't isolated. I just, there was a blindfold. I just hadn't removed it. My friends were already there. Everyone was already there waiting and supporting me and being there for me the entire time. I just didn't realize it,
And that's natural. Like, I think you can't blame yourself either, because even if it's a familiar hell, it will always choose the familiar hell over the unfamiliar heaven.
Exactly.
Right? So it's very difficult to get out of a relationship like that. And I commend you and your courage for choosing yourself.
Reddit helped me a lot.
Really?
Yeah, Reddit is great because, sometimes I feel like also when you're not able to talk to let's say friends,
yeah.
not that you can't, you just feel, inside that I don't want to share this because it's so hurtful, it's so painful. So I don't want to share this. I joined so many subthreads and I would just read about all these women going through so many things, and I'd be like, aha, this is what I'm going through as well. You
log on to Reddit and realize there is no experience on this planet Earth.
Exactly. Everyone's had the same experience. And somewhere it's comforting.
Yes.
It's so comforting because I think, oh wow, 7 years ago, Christy from Milwaukee posted this. Thank you, Christy, for helping me. 7 years later, Gayathri in India is actually benefiting from it. So yeah, community is very important, whether it's online, like for me, my community from Instagram, Reddit, even my family, my friends, the real life community, all of it has carried me through, so many moments in life.
Totally.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in marrying someone who shares the same cultural/ethnic background as you? Like, is that something that matters to you or your family?
I'm sure it matters to my family, but I don't think it matters to me as much.
Yeah.
I think values are more important. Values and school of thought, I would say, is a lot more important than cultural differences.
Like people, a lot of families want people to marry like within
for sure. And I'm sure, my dad always says, when is my son-in-law going to come and when are we going to sit together and talk in Tamil? I said, well, there are a lot of Tamil speaking people out there. You can go and talk in Tamil to other people. You don't have to get one son-in-law for it. It's kind of weird to place that pressure on me that you want to speak Tamil to somebody. So
and plus,
you want to
live in North India. Like you literally live in Gurgaon.
Exactly. So, and honestly, for me, I'm very proud that I'm Tamil. I love Tamil food. I love Tamil culture. All of it is there. But I consider myself a citizen of the world. I grew up in Dubai. I've been in Bangalore. I've been in different cities in India. I've been in Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai. And I chose Delhi, which is so far removed and so opposite of Tamil Nadu, as home. So personally for me, the cultural fit, it's never really mattered. I think if that person's great, everything else will fall into place. I would want that person to love Tamil food because I'm not going to go a day without eating idli dosa. And, whoever the person is, whether he loves parathas, we can eat parathas in the morning and idli dosa in the evening. But that compromise has to be there because I cannot give up on the food.
No,
everything else I'm ready to adjust with.
You're very brave to adjust with one paratha.
Exactly. I'm okay with parathas. So, even my dad and my mom is from Mumbai and my dad is from Tamil Nadu. So, lunch is my dad's choice, which is, rice and rasam and, sambar and beans and stuff. And dinner is my mom's choice, which is chapati and sabzi. So I grew up seeing that,
Intercultural.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I think it would only be obvious that my marriage would be the same way.
Speaking of your parents' marriage, what is one thing you'd like to emulate that you observed growing up from their marriage? And is there anything you would not want to replicate from their marriage?
My dad never believed in these traditional roles. So I actually grew up watching my dad cooking in the kitchen. He's the one who taught my mom how to cook, actually.
Wow.
My mother didn't know how to cook at all.
That's so unusual.
Yeah. So when they got married, the first meal that they made, my mother burnt everything.
Okay.
And she broke all the utensils in the kitchen. I don't know how she did it.
I would do that, yeah.
I don't know how she did it, but she did it. So, my father patiently taught her to cook for 2 years. And, even after I grew up, I knew that Fridays were the day that my dad would take over the kitchen. My mother was not allowed to enter. He would cook everything from start to finish. So for me, honestly, seeing that, for me, that was like, oh, wow, it's not expected that only the woman is cooking. My dad will happily cut the vegetables. And I saw my grandfather doing the same thing.
Oh,
he would cut the vegetables and my grandmom would cook. So they were like a team. So that is something that I would want in my marriage as well. I would say dating as a muscular woman for me has sometimes been a challenge because, I'm not intimidating, but people are intimidated. And, it starts directly from when I start talking. People assume I've taken steroids because my voice is so thick, and they don't realize I was born this way.
Yeah.
My mother sounds this way.
Yeah.
You know, so it's genetic, it's hereditary. And secondly, you know, they touch my hand and they feel all the calluses, and they already know that, oh God. And thirdly, when they see my biceps or, you know, my legs, they immediately get intimidated. So either it's like a fetish where they're like, oh, muscle mommy, crush me between your thighs. I don't know how people think this actually converts anybody, but you know, this is something that I get in DMs, and I just look at it and I'm like, I can't believe people are falling. I don't think anyone's falling for it.
No.
And secondly, I just feel like, you know, they just get intimidated by the strength or whatever in all aspects. So I've realized that, you shouldn't tone it down.
Yeah.
It's okay. The right person will find all this endearing, you know, and they'll find this amazing about you. And in fact, and I would like to say that, you know, when it comes to lifting weights, even women assume that, oh, I'd look manly. Or, you know, I do get this comment sometimes that, oh, you look a little manly, or your mannerisms are a little manly, or whatever it is, you know. And I don't think lifting weights makes you any less feminine. I honestly feel more feminine after lifting weights.
You have
know?
a shape.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it brought out my shape, and it just, you know, made me look and feel so much more confident as a woman. And I would tell women out there that if they're scared of lifting weights, just because they think it'll make them look manly or it'll intimidate men out there, those men are not worth it. And you're not going to look manly. You'll just look like the most amazing version of you, you know. And I feel I would encourage all women out there to just lift weights, be strong, and, you know, if people are finding you intimidating, you're doing something right.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. Like, thank you for sharing. I think since lifting weights too, I've experienced so many life lessons that I feel apply in all other spheres in life. The realization that you are strong and you can do hard things applies in every scenario.
Exactly.
And I think that is shifting the goalposts for men as well. Like, men have to now accept that women are incredibly strong mentally and physically.
Exactly.
And those who are insecure, men who struggle with their own self, are intimidated by that. And
a truly secure man would never find it intimidating.
Right. Like, you go build muscles. And then come
exactly. You know, if he says you're looking more manly, I'll say one of us has to. One of us has to look more manly, so I'm doing it.
Exactly.
I mean, if it's such a big issue to you, if you're so insecure about it, do something about it. I did. Truly. So why not you?
It's all in your hands.
Yeah, like, exactly.
I want to do like a quick, fun little rapid fire.
Oh, let's do it.
Your childhood crush.
Hrithik Roshan.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I had this whole folder. I had a whole folder of his pictures. That was the time of tabloids and everything. I used to cut. I used to cut all the articles and I used to stick it in the folder and keep it.
That's nice.
Yeah. And when I got to know he was married, I threw it down the garbage chute.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a really serious crush.
Yeah. I hope you got through that. That sounds really tough.
It was tough.
One unconventional thing you find attractive in a man?
It's a lock of hair, basically. You know, sometimes that lock of hair that just falls over the forehead. I don't know why. It just feels a little out of place, but it's also kind of, you know, attractive.
If your love life were a song, what would it be?
What about that Spice Girls song? If you want to be my lover, you gotta get with my friends.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think that would be my song. Yeah.
Hear that, boys? If you want to get with Gayathri.
Exactly. You need to be with my friends.
Yeah. What if he's watching? That would be so fun.
Who knows? Yeah, maybe.
It happens all the time. People
Let's
reach
see
out to us.
if someone can, you know, be my gym buddy.
Yeah.
So why not? Of course.
Gym buddy, life buddy.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah, we'll be lifting each other up, lifting together.
Okay.
So
that's so cute. That's a dream. Last final question that has nothing to do with this. Favorite lift in the gym?
Deadlift for sure. The deadlift is my absolute favorite. And it was the first lift which basically gave me the confidence to keep going. You know, when I first lifted 80 kilos in the gym, that was a deadlift. And I said, oh, wow, you know what? I'm good at this. And I'm going to keep I'm going to keep coming here. And that was 9 years ago.
Tell them how much you lift now. How much?
Oh yeah. So when I started, I was at about 80 kilos deadlift, and now I'm at 130. And I used to squat. I couldn't even squat body weight, and now I'm at 100 kilos of squats.
That's
and even in the chest press, I've reached about 60 kg.
That's great.
So yeah, it's been a work in progress. Many years. A lot of protein, you know.
So much chicken.
It's
egg,
just chicken and eggs and protein shake, and me convincing myself that this protein mug cake is so good.
Delicious.
It's so yummy. It's just like the Cheesecake Factory's cheesecake.
At least a man is not gaslighting you, and you're gaslighting yourself.
Exactly. Gaslighting myself.
I would take it
any day. Any day.
Gayathri, this has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. It's been amazing.
Really enjoyed our conversation.
Same here.
And I look forward to having you back again soon.
I hope so too.
Great. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Love Handle. If you enjoyed this video, do be sure to hit subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave in the comment section below what fitness gym tips you'd like Gayathri to share with us next time. Bye. You can also say bye.